So now we've got Michael Lilley, who's standing in Isle of Wight East for the Liberal Democrats.
Hi,
Thank you for coming in, Michael.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Yeah. How's it going?
It's going very well, actually. I'm enjoying it. I've literally come off hot from Yavaland, where I was chatting to people on the doorstep, and I just love that human contact. Really, I'm in my that's my I'm happy as pie with talking to local people.
And that's something you've done a lot of in your role as a councillor. And what else do you get involved in?
I'm quite involved in the voluntary sector, so I'm trustee of a number of charities, and a bit less active than I was. Cause at one time I was chair of the Isle of Wight Voluntary Sector Forum.
Yeah.
And I am still an Isle of Wight mental health champion, so I do go around.
That's in your role as a councillor?
It's a role as a counsellor, but it's something that I really do enjoy because I was a mental health professional for decades, probably far too long.
So you got quite a very big name recognition, I think, in Ryde, where you've been a mayor of Ryde, and you've been there for a long time. How about the rest of the ward, the constituency?
Probably not as strong as Ryde, but still quite strong because I've supported a number of projects.
Yeah.
I'm a founder of Wight Aviation Museum over at Sandown Airport, and supported very much the Men in Sheds movement, various projects from the Wellbeing Cafe in Ventnor. So I've sort of been around with different groups, the Isle of Wight Youth Trust and SIDE. So it's a small island, so if you know sort of people, in one organisation, and they live in a particular area, and you go down. And actually, when I've been going around, which is quite funny, I think people from Ryde have been following me. I'm like in Shankly, and suddenly there's people walking along. I go, "You should be in Ryde. Why are you in Shankly?"
Oh yeah, because you've got some stalkers.
Go around.
So why do you want to be an MP, Michael?
It's a very good question. I think in the middle of the night I'd probably have some doubts. I think the main thing is I feel that we need strong representation in Parliament, and I don't feel necessarily we've had that. And I think we need someone who listens to people. And I was asked, and I was very honoured to be asked, and I think because I love my community, and I would, for the latter part of my life, I'm not going to give my age away too much, but I am.
No, I've got to ask how old you are.
I'm 67.
Right.
I have a bus pass, but I'm sprightly.
Yeah.
I can and go, and I'm probably in the strong bit of the demographic as well. I want to be able to help people. That's my thing. I was brought up with the belief of the common good, and to help the most vulnerable. And if I can get that message across in Parliament, I will be very happy, and then hopefully I can give the baton on to a younger generation when I stand down.
Right.
But that's if I'm elected, then, of course. Presumptuous.
Is that going to be like? Is that likely?
I'm going to give it a good go. I was 16 in 1974 and helped Stephen Ross put leaflets through, and he was a great man in a great side. So, and he didn't think he was going to win.
There's a good precedent for you because he was very popular MP. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing the island?
I think getting equality. We need to get an Island Act and get legislation. I used to be laughed about this 8 years ago, and everybody was talking about deal, but I think people are coming round now to the thought that we actually need legislation, because that brick, when it travels across the Solent, doubles in price. And our wages are £75 lower than on the mainland. So the gap for being an islander to the mainland is big, and we've got to get equality. The first stage is regulation on the ferries, because that now is really impossible for people. There are children on this island who can't afford ever to go across that piece of water.
You've also been very active in Ryde about the housing plans, haven't you?
Yes, my belief on planning is that it should involve the local community, the local parish town councils, and all the stakeholders. It should not be decisions by landowners and developers making a profit. And I've always stood up for that, and I've always stood up for residents in that regard. I'm very much we need housing, but we need the right kind of housing, and we need it in a way that all the community buys into development. I'm not about giving landowners a nice cheque so that they can go on nice holidays.
Now, if you do win on July the 4th and you become a Member of Parliament, every year there's a private members ballot, and the winner of that ballot gets to introduce a law, but it mustn't cost any money. So what would you do? What law do you think you'd bring in if you won the ballot?
Well, I would like to obviously get an Island Act, right? But that, if that was ruled out because of the money side of it, because we have to include money, I think I would want to bring an act to give a greater voice to people that are the most vulnerable. And I think having, for instance, a law which meant that people who experience mental health could have representation on all the different sort of boards in health automatically, and actually have their voice at the decision-making table.
Brilliant. Is there anything that you disagree with your party on?
Annoyingly, no. I wish there was, but no. The more I've come to it, I should have been in the party probably years ago. I never read things, but every time I put a particular opinion, I find that go through the manifesto and I go, oh, actually, it's there. So I am a liberal.
It's handy. So the response on the door has been positive generally?
Yes, I mean, people are angry with this government.
Yeah.
They feel very let down. Cost of living is the biggest thing that people say. They feel really hit. A lot of people feel they're being punished because of COVID, really. Which is interesting. I hadn't really totally heard that, but I've heard it quite a few times now. Yeah. And they want change, and they actually, when they speak to me, I think they might close the door and say something else, but when they're actually speaking to me, they actually do say, we want a local person who.
Somebody representing the island.
It's down the road with them. I'm very visible where I live. I do go on the buses a lot and the trains, and they recognise the hat. The dog's more popular than I am.
Perhaps the dog's name should be on the ballot.
Yeah, probably should be. Yeah.
And have you got any amusing anecdotes from the campaign trail?
Oh. That's a.
Richard Quigley shared that he'd been mistaken for Bob Seeley. So.
Well, one thing was I was trying to give a leaflet to someone, and he said, "I don't want a leaflet. I hate all of you. but the only person I actually like is that Michael Lilley. And I went, but I am Michael Lilley. And he said, no you're not, you haven't got a hat, and where's the dog?
Is there anything else you'd like to say to people who might vote for you, or people who won't vote for you, or the people who are voting for you?
Well, first I say to all people, you've got to, make your own choice, and I totally respect that. And if I was elected, I would represent everybody, not just the people who voted for me. And I'd say good luck to all the other candidates. It takes a lot of courage to stand and actually do it, especially at this particular time. And so that if people vote for me, then my message is I will represent you, and I will have an office and a team that you can come into, and you'll know where it is, and you can come in, and I will not be invisible. I'll be very visible, and I will do my best to resolve the issue that you are facing with.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for coming in. Good luck with the rest of your campaign,
Thank you.
and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.